Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Father Robert Balliser, the digital Jesuit, and joining me is Mr. Mike Elgan, our news director. Now, Mike, you've had this for a good month. This is not an off-the-cuff review. This is something that you've been using on a day-in, day-out basis.
And I've been avoiding this review for a month. That's why I've been using it.
Whoa. You're jumping ahead of the review here. This, of course, is a Samsung, but it's a special Samsung.
That's right.
Because it's got a curved screen.
That's right. It's got the coveted curve. And best of all, the best thing about this curved display is it's cheaper than your average curved display. When you see a curved display, you start thinking dollar signs.
I'm thinking like that $10,000 one that Leo bought, which was nice.
I hope so. I hope it's nice at those prices. But this one is only $399. $399 for a curved display, and it's a 27-inch display. That is an amazing price. It's more expensive than a flat display that you can get of the same size, but it's cheaper than any other display that's curved at this size.
Now, I don't get it. What's the big draw to curved? Is it actually better, or is it just because it's curved, it's different than anything else?
In my opinion, it's not that much better for ordinary use. However, there is a use you can conceive of that makes the curve super awesome, and that is you buy 3 of them. And you put them side by side, and that curve becomes really, really sweet. Also, if you know you're going to be gaming at just the right distance, in just the right environment, it can be fine for gaming. That curve actually has a minor benefit. But if you step back a foot or move in a different way, the curve actually becomes a detriment.
Right, and this is just basic physics. This is a parabola, and so there's a focal point. There's a point on this. It's going to be actually quite far out, maybe about here, at which every pixel on the screen is equidistant to your eye.
And you have to keep in mind that if you're going to do gaming with more than one person, this becomes a problem. If you're going to be gaming by yourself, you know exactly what you're going to be doing. In other words, if you're already doing this and you want to just swap in this monitor for the one that you're using, that curve is great. It's actually kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, the other question I had about this is I have a 50-inch 4K screen that I use as a computer monitor.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is it is so big, and I'm at a distance where the colors actually shift towards the edge of the screen because I'm getting it at a much different angle. That's what curve is supposed to solve for, yes?
Yes. And this has a vertical alignment technology which is similar to IPS, and it gives you 178 degrees before the colors start to whack out
on you. Okay.
And that's not bad. That's better than I would have expected.
Well, Brian, go to the forward-facing camera, the wide shot. Let's see. So you start to see color shift right about there.
Yeah, and that's
not bad.
In actual use, it's not an issue. It's not a problem.
Yeah, especially at this size. I mean, you're not dealing with a 50-inch screen. This is what? This is a 27?
27-inch screen. Yeah. And it's got a 1920 by 1080 resolution, which is lower than you might think.
I would expect 4K for a modern 27-inch monitor.
Yes. And so, but again, this is the budget. This is the bottom of the line in terms of price for a curved display. So you can't expect, in fact, it's generally speaking, it's a no-frills monitor.
Well, I mean, it's strange to combine no frills with a curved monitor.
Yes.
You'd think you'd want all the frills before you add in the curve. Like, for example, the inputs look a little scarce here on the back. There's not a whole lot.
Exactly. It's got an HDMI display port and a VGA. That's it. No USB, and it's got audio ports, of course, 3.5mm audio ports. So you're going to want, and by the way, this is getting a little bit into the evaluative part, but you're going to want to use headphones because it's got 5-watt speakers in this thing, which don't sound good. In fact, you were doing your previous show, and I accidentally blasted it. You probably could tell from across the room that it didn't sound very good.
I don't think the mic picked it up.
Okay, good.
Now, I did notice that it does have a VESA mount, even though the VESA mount here looks a little chintzy. It's not. It's basically just 4 holes in the back of the plastic.
That's right.
Which is good because I'm noticing something here.
Yeah, and that's a big problem with this display. It's got a flimsy. It's got a flimsy stand. It's plasticky, and it's really like we can really get this thing going. And it's a problem if you're going to be moving the desk at all. It sort of you lose confidence in it because it's not really solid. So that is a problem with this. In fact, everybody that I've seen talking about this monitor, that's one of the first things they say that strikes them is that the stand is really flimsy.
Right, and I always put my monitors in a stand because of the setup I use. I have a multi-monitor setup. I would suspect that if you're going to get this, because you're using it with 2 or 3 monitors, you'd also want to have it in a stand rather than just lying on your desk.
Exactly. Now there's another interesting feature about this that I think is really cool. It has a joystick on the back to control. So it's right here. So you reach around there and use a joystick. And at first, for the first like minute or so, you think, well, this is a little weird. But then you realize this is a superior interface for controls. If you have multiple buttons, you're always afraid you're going to push the wrong button.
That's right. And
then you're like, where am I? You're lost in the settings and so on. With this joystick control, once you get used to it, it's really great for doing all the settings. And so I really like that joystick a lot. It's really a great feature.
That's actually, you're absolutely right. Normally I'm reaching around the side of the monitor or the bottom of the monitor or just trying to find the buttons.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to figure, okay, that's forward and back, that's select.
Right.
A joystick is kind of a no-brainer. You push it in to select and then you navigate.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, so that's something they did right.
Yeah. And they did other things right as well. The screen is actually very bright. It pumps out a lot of light, which for some people is very, very good. And again, this is optimized for gaming, and there's no ghosting at all. You can't make this monitor ghost. So it's like...
What's the refresh?
60.
Oh, it's 60, okay.
Yeah. And so it's really good in that sense. And again, the sort of uber benefit of this is that it's cheap. It's $399, and you could probably get a better price than that as well.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, $399 is actually good for any 27-inch monitor, regardless of the curve.
Yes.
So yeah, it's definitely in budget territory.
Yeah.
Give me your pros and your cons.
Okay, well those are the pros.
Those are the cons.
Joystick is awesome, it's bright, no ghosting, and it's cheap for a curved display. The cons are that the image quality overall is not good. It's generally speaking pretty bad. If you're going to use this for anything other than gaming, it's just terrible. If you're going to just do email or something, it's too pixely and too bright and washed out. It just doesn't feel good for anything other than certain types of gaming. Again, it has a flimsy stand. You can't adjust this much. So the degree to which this thing will adjust is almost zilch.
When you adjust, it creaks. I don't know if you can pick that up on the mic, but that's not the sound I want to hear when I'm moving my expensive monitor.
Exactly, and that's the sound of plastic.
That's the sound of plastic.
And so it has, again, has no DVI connection, no USB. There's no fine tuning for gamma. There's no fine tuning for color temperature. So you're pretty much stuck with the options in the menu. You can't really go in there and really tune it. Oh, wow. And the sound is terrible. You don't even want to use these speakers at all for anything. It's just horrible.
That's a big list of cons.
It's a big list of cons. It absolutely is. Now, the only use that I can recommend this for is gaming, for people on a budget, and especially if you're going to put the 3-monitor or the multi-monitor configuration. That can be really cool. I mean, that's expensive. You're going to start buying monitors by the gross. You want it to be a low price. And so, for $1,200, you could have a really sweet setup. If you try to do multiple curved display monitors with another brand, it's going to set you way back.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still, the $399, it's at that price point where just a tiny bit more, $50, $60, get you a really nice 27-inch monitor. Maybe not with the curve, but it'll have more inputs, it'll look better, it'll mount better, it'll feel better. I got to ask, buy, try, or don't buy?
Do not buy.
That's a don't buy.
Do not buy. And again, I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah. The curve isn't worth it. Get a better quality display that's flat and wait until the curved displays are better quality at this price.
There you have it from Mike Elgan, our news director here at TWiT. You can find him every day, every morning, weekday at 10 o'clock a.m. if you want to find out what's going on in the tech world.
You're not going to find me on the weekends here.
Not on the weekends. No. Well, we're working on that.
Not in the morning anyway.
Yeah. And his advice is don't buy the Samsung, the LS27D. He says leave the curve for your really expensive big screens. I'm sorry to hear that. This was the first affordable gaming curved monitor we've had in the studio. I had high hopes for it.
So did I, and when it came in on the box, I thought, okay, this is going to be awesome, and it wasn't.
There you go.